Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
It's the biggest construction project in the history of the cities, and you haven't seen nothing yet. Plus, how the Y is changing the face of downtown Davenport's East End in the cities. We have all watched in wonder as the Interstate 74 bridge construction has moved from concept to design and now construction. And ask any commuter, miss a week and you've missed something. But right now the 2018 construction season is wrapping up because of the cold weather, but not on the I-74 bridge. What's being done in the cold months ahead, and what does 2019 bring? Joining us is Danielle Alvarez, the Interstate 74 Bridge Project Manager for the Iowa Department of Transportation. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This is such a huge undertaking. When you were appointed the project manager, did you go, oh my gosh?
I guess I was looking for a new challenge, and I certainly found one.
Yeah, you certainly did. So tell me about what's going on right now, because we're towards the end of December, or the end of 2018, I should say. You know, heading into December, you would think that most construction projects are done. You guys made sure that most of what you needed to get done in 2018 is done, but there's still so much more to go.
That's correct. Through the winter 2018 into 2019, we'll continue to work on all of the bridge that we're able to, specifically in the river where our construction schedule is so aggressive. We need to be out there working even in these cold winter months.
And does that add, you know, is there, construction methods have changed over the years, the way things are built have changed over the years. I mean, does winter still pose a huge hazard or concern?
So winter is definitely more challenging. Obviously, the hours of daylight are there's a lot less daylight out there, and you know there are a lot of cranes and equipment out there, but ultimately there are people out there building the bridge. And when we think about cold temperatures and blowing snow and wind, it's tough to have people physically out there during some of these times, but definitely things that we can do to allow the construction to continue, but always at the mercy of Mother Nature.
But you look at, if you look from a year ago to today, the difference that has happened, it's been very dramatic. Are you on schedule? I mean, did everything happen in 2018 as you had hoped it would?
As far as the schedule goes, like I said, the schedule is aggressive. A lot of things, great things have happened in 2018. Work in the river, though, is very difficult. All of the weather conditions are amplified. We experienced several high water events that have impacted the progress. And then other things are, you know, sometimes things take longer than you anticipate, and others take a little bit less time. So it took us a little bit longer to excavate some of the rock for the foundations, but we're able to complete the drilled shaft work ahead of our schedule for that item. So it's really kind of a checks and balances, and as we go through the construction, we'll continue to watch that, and really what is going to be telling is when that arch goes up and is completed in the spring of next year.
And I do want to talk about that, but let me talk about some of the approaches, because that seems to be what everyone sees right now. 2018 was really the year of approaches, it appears. I mean, is that work virtually done, or what still has to be done as you're coming towards the bridge? Sure,
so work towards the bridge, everything on land in Bettendorf, we're almost to the point in Bettendorf where all of the bridge is constructed that can be, really until we're able to impact traffic next year. So in Bettendorf, that looks good. In Moline, very similar situation where they're going to continue to work over River Drive in those areas to work on that structure. And then we'll continue on either side of the arch or either side of the navigation channel throughout the winter in the water.
And the key was to get certain parts of Moline done early enough before it did get too cold so that you could get further out into the river. Was that successful?
Yes. So some of the things that we're able to do in winter are limited, specifically some of the work in Moline. That's a lot of paving work, and there are thin concrete slabs, so getting that done prior to the freezing months is very important for roadway type work, like what's going on in Moline, where the bridge work, a lot of that can be done with a little bit extra effort in these cold months, so that was important to prepare for next year. People have been inconvenienced for quite some time, especially in the downtown areas of Bettendorf and Moline.
I mean, you worked as quickly as you could, and you really minimized that as much as you could. Does that continue into the winter?
So the winter will look much like it did before we were really there, aside from the fact that in some of the Moline areas you'll be driving on new 19th Street, so you'll have a little bit of improved facilities to be driving on. We understand that road construction isn't a nice neighbor to have. However, one of our important goals is to ensure that there's always access to all of the places that you want to go to and get from during the whole construction process.
So explain to me this next exciting part, because we've all heard of the arches arriving, these big, huge 100-ton pieces of metal from Gary, Indiana that have arrived here. I mean, this is when the bridge really is going to show off how magnificent it's going to look.
Sure, a lot of the work that we've done over the past year, it's really, we've done a lot of work on the project, but a lot of it's underwater, so it's not really able to be visually appreciated at this time, especially in the river. So getting the sections of the arch from Gary is a big step into constructing the arch and getting that visible new skyline above the water. It's something that the pieces are on their way here now, the first 8 segments. There are 30 for the westbound structure in total. So the first 8 will come in about a week.
30 just for one side?
For one direction, yes.
So does that mean a total of 60?
Total of 60 for eastbound or Iowa bound and Illinois bound.
Holy cow. And how long do you think that's going to take?
So for the Illinois or the Iowa bound bridge, which is the one that's supposed to be open to traffic the end of next year, about this time next year, they're anticipating they would start erecting those steel sections of the arch sometime after Thanksgiving this year, and that will continue through spring. So several months.
Yeah, and then that's when people are going to say, wow, this really is coming together.
Yes, and hopefully they're using our website and social media to get an update on what that looks like and not trying to peek over the side of the bridge as they're traveling.
You don't need the rubberneckers quite yet.
No.
Tell me what 2019 brings then, because, and you hinted upon it, that one of the lanes or one of the spans is going to be open. There's going to be a lot of commuter changes coming up in 2019, is there not?
Sure. So in 2019, the important thing to remember is you will always be able to cross the river on I-74 in both directions. So we're always going to have access to both those downtown areas in Bettendorf and Moline. However, the way that you get there is going to be a little bit different. We will send through traffic or people who aren't interested in stopping in the Quad Cities around the metro area using 80 and 280.
Right.
And we'll provide a local access route to both downtown areas during 2019 while I-74 remains under construction.
Because in so many different ways, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the interstate has to stay open? Is that like a federal law or something that somehow the interstate has to stay open?
Sure. It's one of the important things is to ensure that we have access to both of those downtown areas so you can work and shop and go to all of the places that you're going to today. So maintaining that mobility while it's on a different route, it'll be using 19th Street and Kimberly and 14th. To access those areas is important to make sure that locals still have access to enjoy the downtown areas and still have a way to cross through and get around inside the Quad Cities.
Well, the other key is, I mean, people who have lived here for a long time, I mean, you keep changing the routes because construction's forcing you to do it. I'm not saying anything to make you mad, I hope. But
no, I understand.
But it's almost like you have to relearn how to drive downtown all the time, which I would think means you really want motorists to be more cautious than ever and to follow the signs because the route you took last Tuesday may not be the route you take next Thursday.
Absolutely, and that's why we try to be very proactive and update on our website about impacts to traffic and new ways that you might need to navigate to get to the places that you want to go.
You touched upon what was going on beneath the water that people don't see. I think some people have noticed the amazing work that is done, but is everything in the river done?
Is everything under the water done?
Yeah.
So most of the work under the water is done. That would be all of our drilled shaft foundations that support the piers. However, the approach piers on either side of the navigation channel or either side of the arch, the footing is still partially under the water. So right now we have about half of those done for the westbound structure, the Iowa-bound structure, and we have about half left to go. So that is some work that is still influenced by the changes in the water level. And then obviously eastbound, since that has one year longer to be completed, there's still some underwater work relating to the foundations that needs to be done there.
The other area that people don't really realize is that it's more than just a bridge. It's an entire corridor project that is going on. And I know that we're seeing changes on the on-ramps and off-ramps. How close are we done to, let's start with the Illinois side, because obviously that is the first side that's going to be done. As far as everything in Moline, when it comes to Avenue of the Cities exit, or even further down all the way to the Rock River, to what extent is that project near completion?
So the work south of Avenue of the Cities on I-74 should be done yet this fall or winter, and then the local street impacts also done later on this year in the next several weeks, and that's all to prepare for 2019 when we start to divert and find different routes to get to the downtown areas.
And that's going to be the time when the commuters are going to have to be, it's going to be a tough commute in 2019.
It will be tough, but the important thing is that you still have the ability to get to all the places that you do today, and I encourage you to continue to do that. Just find, alternate times to visit those locations, or maybe you'll find a little bit different route to still get to the places that you want to go to.
And then the Bettendorf side, you're trying to figure out how the new bridge is going to tie into the old route on I-74 without tearing out everything that's already there. That's kind of the puzzle that you guys have to work on now.
That's right. So the new structure will meet into the existing 74 alignment at Mississippi Boulevard. Mm-hmm. So our new bridge is actually a little bit shorter than the one that's out there today in downtown Bettendorf, because now it extends north of where Kimberly crosses underneath I-74.
And what does that mean to current I-74 traffic there? I mean, obviously that's going to be torn down, so you're going to have to find another, you're going to have to take an off-ramp and then try to get an on-ramp back on.
Yep, so that will be a local access route that we'll provide starting spring of next year.
Take me to the bridge being finished. What's still the plan? Is it 2020?
Sure. So our goal is to have the Iowa-bound or westbound structure open at the end of 2019, after Thanksgiving 2019 sometime, and then eastbound or Illinois-bound would be around that same time the following year in 2020.
Okay. And so 2021 we have a whole new bridge?
The end of 2021 you'll have a whole new bridge. In 2021 also the existing suspension structure will go away. It'll be demolished.
Yeah. And when you're talking also about the whole corridor, then believe it or not, the bridge may be done, but to the best of my knowledge, there could be future construction all the way to 53rd in Davenport.
Sure, there could be. Right now, that's not something that's in our 5-year program, but they are investigating expansion of 74 north to 53rd.
I know that you want to say something about the people that are working on this bridge. I mean, you've got so many dedicated, true professionals that are safely putting a bridge together right before our eyes. Tell us a little bit about the people who are working on it.
So there are a lot of great people out there working, very smart individuals. They're really putting together a very, very large, complicated jigsaw puzzle when you think about it.
Yeah, very much
and
so.
It really couldn't be as successful as the project is without those guys and girls out there working sometimes 24 hours a day, 6, maybe 7 days a week, in all sorts of weather conditions. So it's really important that if we see them out there, we thank them, because they're doing a very tough job.
And for those people who we're going to tell you, 2019 is not going to be easy to drive over that area.
Sure.
You got to be patient and all that, but you got to think of what the future is going to bring.
Right.
What kind of bridge do you think this is going to be? I mean, you're obviously proud of it already. I mean, it's a legacy.
It is. This is a very unique structure for a Mississippi River crossing, because of the water levels are relatively shallow here in this pool at this location, and the bedrock is at a high elevation. So this is it is the only true arch or basket handle twin true arch that will span the Mississippi. So this is a very unique structure for the Mississippi River corridor, and it's something that's going to be visually very nice to look at.
It'll be also available now. Right now you've got just 2 narrow lanes for cars. You're going to be able to have bicyclists on there, pedestrians will be able to use it as well. Also a little area where you can actually, an overlook.
Yep.
It's going to be more than just a bridge that you're driving over.
Absolutely. So we'll have double the lanes and a nice separated 14-foot multi-use path for pedestrians to be able to cross the river.
We just got to get through 2019.
We'll get through it.
Danielle Alvarez, the project manager for the Iowa DOT, thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. In a moment, the YMCA's plans for downtown Davenport. But first, here's Laura Adams, Out and About.
This is Out and About for December 3rd through 9th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. Christkindl Market opens at the Freight House Farmers Market December 8th and 9th, while the holiday train stops at the Freight House December 4th from 1 to 4. Bishop Hill invites you to celebrate the Swedish tradition of Lucia Nights, December 7th and 8th, or join the Jingle Bell Run at Credit Island Park, December 8th, to help the Arthritis Foundation. See Quarters 1 decorated for the holidays while enjoying an afternoon tea, December 9th, or enjoy a festive evening at the Hallberg Mansion for holiday champagne and sparkling wines, December 8th. On stage, The Happy Elf by Harry Connick Jr. lights up the Spotlight Theater, December 6th through 9th. The Quad City Wind Ensemble presents their holiday concert on December 9th at Galvin Fine Arts Center. The drama, The Children's Hour, will be performed at the Bruner Theater Center, December 6th through 9th. Ballet Quad Cities and Orchestra Iowa present the holiday classic The Nutcracker at the Adler Theater, December 8th and 9th. The Black Box Theater presents a cabaret with music, food, and drink on December 8th at the theater in downtown Moline to raise funds for the new season. Riverbend Bronze Holiday Concert takes place at St. John's United Methodist Church, December 8th, and Handel's Messiah Community Sing and Benefit welcomes singers and listeners to Trinity Cathedral in Davenport, December 7th. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Kevin Prasbury has a warm spot for storytellers. With his ukulele in hand, he conjures up the influences of Van Morrison, Jim Croce, and others. He joined us at Moline's Black Box Theater to share one of his original works. It's Something's in the Water.
Greetings from Davenport. It's been a while now since we spoke. I can barely remember the nights we stumbled home drunk. The girls look so pretty, you can't help but fall in love. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. Well, downstream in old St. Lou, they really make you feel at home. Midwestern girls with a little southern drawl. Well, they can break your heart now without saying a thing at all. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. Twin City princess, she was sweeter than could be. She had the bluest eyes that I think I've ever seen. She'd keep you warm now on the coldest winter night. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. Wish I could take you home with me. It wouldn't be the same as it was. I couldn't make you wait for me. It wasn't fair. To either one of us. Spend time in Woodstock, a little town in Illinois. Those country girls show love their country boys. Women shoot whiskey, well, they play the favorite songs. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. Well, there must be something in the water here we ain't got where I come from. must be something in the water here. We ain't got where I come from.
Kevin Presbury, Something's in the Water. He'll be performing later this month in Ottawa and Elburn, Illinois. The Scott County YMCA is in the midst of a multi-million-dollar effort to upgrade its downtown facilities and create a campus near the Quad City Times building. That means it will leave its well-known home near the foot of the Centennial Bridge. But what are those plans and how can you help? Joining us is the Chief Executive Officer of the Scott County YMCA, Brad Martell. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me about the project because it's pretty much kicked off. What are you looking for from the public?
Well, right now we're in our capital campaign. We did a market study for the site, did a feasibility study for a site, did some conceptual planning with the National YMCA architect. So we pretty much have our ducks in a row. And in July this last summer, we kicked off our capital campaign. We're looking to raise $12 million. Total building cost will probably be about $20 million we have planned right now. And I'm happy to announce we're at about $9 million on the capital campaign. So we're 75% there, very happy where we're at. But everybody knows the big gifts come in first, the smaller gifts come in second. So we still have a ways to go.
Now we're looking at the property that's basically just north and a little east of the Quad City Times building. That wedge of property where the early learning center already is located.
What's interesting about that property, in 2012 we bought that property and there's about actually, there's 15 acres of property there.
It doesn't look that big until you actually stop a car and look at it.
You drive up in there on the Mississippi Bluff. It goes for a ways up there. And the Y's looking at about 7 acres to put our new YMCA building on. To the west of that location, more than likely will sell to a private developer for mixed use, apartments, condos. So we're planning in the next 5 years that entire 15 acres would really be totally redeveloped on the east side of downtown Davenport.
Which is something that downtown Davenport really wants to see in that area.
Yeah, downtown Davenport has a lot of momentum right now. Apartments are 98% vacancy according to the last report. A lot of people are living in downtown Davenport, and a lot of people probably wouldn't have believed that would ever happen 10, 15 years ago, but now it's got momentum going.
Because when you look at the YMCA, you guys did expand virtually at most of the high schools. I mean, you're out at West, you're out at Davenport North. I mean, you got Bettendorf YMCA is going on as well. Gold's Gym, you bought into that area as well. That you would think, well, maybe downtown isn't important. Why is that the linchpin for the Y?
Well, it's that's primarily why we did a market study. First of all, how big to build a new YMCA there. We presently have 6,000 members at our downtown location, and the market study's shown, and they take into pricing, location, what you're going to put in the new YMCA. They felt comfortable that we could grow to 10,000 members in that location and pull from areas that we haven't pulled from. Most Ys, you never get members for more than a 15-minute drive time, so that's kind of what they base it on.
I see. What's wrong with the old building? 1963, some of us were born in 61.
Yeah.
We're still ticking.
The old building when it was built in 1963 was a fantastic building. I talked to the old YMCA old-timers, I call them. When it was built, it was state-of-the-art. But it's got some age on it now. After 60 years, it's a 98,000 square foot building. I joke, and it's probably not really a joke, it's probably got 20,000 worth of stairs in it. Got 8 different staircases in it.
That's good for exercise,
It's good for exercise. It's just, it's not a building, it's just been used, the entire HVAC and heating system is original in it. So if we were to stay there, it'd probably cost $5 million just to redo that, and we'd still have a pretty old building.
What's the new building going to have that's going to be so much better than the old one had?
The new building right now we have slated at about a 70,000 square foot building. It's going to have 2 swimming pools in it, one just for lap swimming, a 4-lane lap pool. So if you're a lap swimmer, you don't have to call ahead and say winter lap swimming is available.
Right.
It's going to be available whenever we're open. Going to have a water. The other pool will have a play feature in it for 6 months to 6 years old. Gym, racquetball court, squash court. Probably the newest feature that I don't know of any Y that has it. On the third floor, we'll have an outdoor group exercise studio that overlooks Mississippi River. So we hope to do outdoor Zumba, sunrise yoga, but it'll actually be a 5,000 square foot outdoor studio when we built the site, when we looked at it, we had a drone go up we believe you'll be able to see the Mississippi River 6 miles each way.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Pretty
is gonna
cool.
add so much more. Plus, I mean, the old building actually gives you a little bit of a benefit to help fund the new building.
It does,
Because
yeah.
that's a great piece of property basically at the foot of the Centennial Bridge, as we said off the top.
It is. More than likely, we'll probably knock down that building and turn it into what they call gray field and sell that property and return it back to the tax rolls for, you know, apartments, mixed use, anybody that'd have interest in that property. And I do agree, it does have a lot of traffic flow and it's got a great location. And those proceeds will then go and help build the new building.
So we just have a few minutes left. So how can people help if they want to actually see this new YMCA come to fruition?
Well, the YMCA, you know, is a community organization, so people can help in a multitude of ways. First of all, we have our turkey trot Thanksgiving morning. We need volunteers. You can also donate for our annual support campaign. Last year we gave $1.5 million in aid out to the less fortunate in our community. You can donate to the capital campaign or just get involved in your local community.
Yeah. And when do you hope to see this new building actually groundbreaking and construction and completion?
I think if the timeline stays steady, we hope to have fundraising done early part of next summer. Hire an architect, hire a general contractor, break ground in the fall of next year, of 2019, and then probably take about 12 to 14 months to build the project. So late 2020 or early 2021, we'll have it up and going.
Just have a minute left, but I wanted to ask you about the Sponsor of the Month initiative. It's something that's been ongoing at the YMCA, but it's kind of a neat concept that businesses get involved in. I just thought it'd be nice for people to know a little bit more about that.
Well, we have our annual support campaign. We raise money for the less fortunate, and part of that, for $5,000 a month, each month we have a Sponsor of the Month. And last year we had all 12 months covered. One thing great about the Quad Cities, people get involved and they give back and they support the YMCA and they support other nonprofits, and that's what's great. And that money goes to the less fortunate in our community.
Yeah, the Sponsor of the Month helps fund what?
Scholarship, membership, send a kid to Camp Abe Lincoln, our community outreach program, Achievers and Solutions, and a multitude of the outreach that we do.
Brad Martell, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Scott County YMCA continuing to grow by leaps and bounds, it appears. WQPT is doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military. This is a tough time of the year for many people. The Department of Veterans Affairs is offering its Veterans Crisis Line, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The number on your screen, 800-273-8255. They offer qualified responders, many who are veterans themselves. The support is free, confidential, and available to all veterans, service members, their families, and friends. So once again, if you need the help, it's there. The Veterans Crisis Line, available at all times, 800-273-8255. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.